Drop your phone so we can talk. So that we don't have time. Drop your phone so we can talk. Or if you want to take phone, let me stay. When you finish, I can go. Drop your phones so we can talk. After that, we can start doing phones. Okay, go on.
Good evening.
Please find anywhere you can sit down. Anywhere. All these things are seats. Everything.
Yes, come on, sit.
Anywhere.
Just one seat here.
Anywhere.
Yes.
Just manage anywhere. Stay in between.
Two people can stay.
You know. No. This is not there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are privileged to have in our midst, by God's grace, the next president of Nigeria, Mr. Peter Obi, who is here on a private visit. And we are glad to receive him this evening. And here are members of the leaders of the Nigerian community in Belgium. We are here to interact with our future leader, and we wish ourselves a very peaceful and honest deliberation. Thank you all.
We have to stop so that we can have. I'm not saying you should. Are you part of?
Yeah.
Are you a journalist or you're part of this?
I'm part of you guys, but I'm here for orderiness.
For?
Order.
No, there's no. We won't have this order. Just the.
Okay, sir. As you wish, eh?
Thank you very much. Thanks. You're a journalist.
African TV, sir.
African, which one is African?
African television. We're based in Holland.
In where?
Holland.
Holland.
Yes.
Are you right?
AFTV.
That's.
We're competing with our rights.
Which channel?
We're satellite.
Yes.
In Europe mostly. But if you give us the license, we'll come to Nigeria.
No, it's not going to do with license. I'm not Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the audience. I was here, like you mentioned. Thank you sincerely for your time, because I know how busy people are in Western world. So, even whatever you're doing, no matter how big or how small it is appreciated. I had a reason to come to EU just for a few hours to meet some people. And I did mention to him that since I'm going to the EU, if there's anywhere I can see, even if it's 1, 2, 3 persons from Nigeria to be able, or Africa, to be able to interact with them, that they will be appreciated. And he said so. And he said, what time? I said, 4 p.m. You know, even when we finished what I came to do at about 1, and he said to me, let him, I said, no, we gave them 4, I will operate with 4. When it's 4, I will give them. I thank our host who graciously gave us the place to use and all that. So that's what we're here for 4 p.m. Just to interact with you, people, learn. Yes, there's so many places I'm sure you, if you're following me, you'll be reading about me in the news and everything. But most places now, what I do is to answer questions, interact with people, and learn, and see how we can. My commitment is that Africa can be better. Nigeria can be far better than it is today. I've lived in the Western world, I've been to schools with them, so I know they're not better. And all of you have experienced the same thing. They're not smarter in education. They don't have better weather. They don't have better environment. They don't have better everything. Everything God gave them, He probably gave us better.
Yes.
All that we lack is leadership. And that is what I think we should look at it and say, well, listen, enough is enough. I was just talking to the ladies downstairs, and I said to them, at the end of the day, what do people do? What is governance here that is so sophisticated? That's what I told them in America or the cities. This is the 13th city I'm visiting. The only difference between me and other places that goes that something large was prepared and had over 1,000 people to speak. You're the only place, and one other place where I had maybe less than 100. And it was the same thing. In that place, I came suddenly, I said I want to meet, just like here. So for me, and I asked a question, is there anything discipline is doing? Just like here, is there anything the Belgian government is doing that is rocket science? Nothing. They're just doing what is right. Very simple thing. Governance is like keeping this flat. There's nothing sophisticated in this flat. Just keep it simple, clean it in the morning, make it look. Now that's it. That's how governance is. If you do the right things, you will see it work. There's nothing sophisticated about it. So when people say, what will you do different? There's nothing to do different. What you need to do different is to do what is right. Because people have been doing what is wrong. If you do what is right, you provide security, because you know a society cannot exist without securing its own people. If you do what is right, you provide law and order. If you do what is right, and I have done it, so I know. That is simple. It's not something difficult. And that is what I plead and tell people we want to do in Africa. So maybe if after interaction, if I have comment I can make, but I'd rather ask people, ask questions for clarification purposes, and that's it.
And one thing I want to put up very forward is we like your KISS, KISS. That is the way you keep it simple and stupid. We like the KISS. And we have been following you from Belgium and Luxembourg. All this time you've been on the road and everything. And I have prepared here 21 ideas for a change model in the country for your presidency. I have it here. I will not go through it because it's but some is provocative, some is advice, some is trying to get you out of your destiny to do things differently, to create a paradigm change.
No problem.
So I would not want to monopolize the talking because I know there are many other people who want to talk. I want to kindly give you this, read it through.
Thank you very much.
And it's, for me, very insightful. And probably the things you have been thinking on how to do, and how to carry out.
No problem.
So that's it, dear brothers and sisters. What I demand of you is to pull our hands together, pull our hearts together, and see how we can take back our country. Supporting Mr. Peter Obi, like he wants to be called. And like I said, with him, I think the best is still to come for Nigeria. Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Let me stand up first.
one after the other.
Okay.
I think people have questions.
Yeah, my first question.
I would rather deal with issues of question. He has done his own where he articulated something which I'm reading, and I will continue to read till I get back home. Thank you. Go on.
Your Excellency, my first question is, if we invite you again to Belgium, will you come to meet more crowd than this?
Okay, go on.
And in addition to what you said, where they asked you a question to say, what will you do differently? I'm a chief compliance officer in my bank, and there is something I believe in, is having a system. What I think Nigeria do not have is a system. And the system makes everyone behave accordingly, even though you have a bad behavior, because the system is there, the system controls your moral hazard.
If I may ask, when you talk about system, you're talking about the institution.
The institution and the system. The system is the system you put in place that controls everyone, which is the law and the execution. I'll give you an example.
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Example is what we call here radar. You can drive at any speed you want, but there is a camera that will control you, for example. The system, if the speed limit is 70 and you go above that, you pay the price. The system will not come with police to chase you up and down, but these things are designed, not only that, legally. You know that when you commit crime, you must surely pay the price. Not because when you have money, you don't pay the price, but no. Like what happened to Boris Johnson of UK. He messed up and the system took him out. So what I'm trying to say is this. In Nigeria today, we know how it works. The rich always go free when they do it. And because there is no system in Nigeria, everybody does what they like. So now the question is, sir, how will you put this system in place to make every one of us behave like we see in other countries?
Either you stand one place, so that because we're having a discussion. After you can do interview, I will answer you everything. What we are doing now, please, I beg. Just leave it. When we finish, sit down one place. When we finish, we do interview, because this is, you can't use it as an interview. We are talking about friendly thing. If a big man in Belgium decides not to obey the law or do things wrongly, assuming the police didn't say anything, what will happen?
He goes to prison. He goes to prison.
No. Assuming the police decides to ignore him, what will happen?
If the police decide to ignore it and it comes to the ear of the public, the police must act. They have no choice.
Assuming police decide they will not, the police have decided to ignore him. So what do the public do?
The citizens
will cry out.
I don't know whether you follow when I answer this thing. Somebody asks us in London. Let me tell you. Governance is two ways. Whenever I go to a place and our people try to talk about structure, they talk about having institutions. The reality is there's no institution anywhere. The institution is the people. It's the people that have built a set of values, which is, I can do this, I cannot do this. So if I do what is wrong, and I don't say for your listeners, I'll grant you interview when the interview comes, but allow us to finish our discussion. If the people decide this is wrong, and instead okay decides to do what is wrong, or Mr. Keke, or Ajibola, Kwakusu, Peter Obi decides to do what is wrong, the people will say no. What you're doing is wrong. I gave people 4 p.m. And by 4, I'm here. Well, I asked everybody where I went to America. They will say, okay, the people are not ready. I said, no, we have time. We have to start doing simple things. Simple things. We ordered for food here. We're there. They started ordering another thing. I said, you would have told us. He said, no, we don't mind. We can eat this one. I said, no. I don't throw away money. We eat this one. I have allergy for wasting money. Because some people in my village need the food. So let's eat whatever is there, whether it's good or bad. Simple, because of what am I trying to say? It is the people that can say no to this, no to that. So we have leaders who don't obey the rule. We have followers who are insane not respecting the rule. Because they think they can get away with anything. So that's the system. So you don't blame, don't think that I've worked and go on. People come to work on time because I come to work on time. Anybody who knows, you know, that if I'm in work at 7:30, I'm in my office. And I work till midnight. I don't keep anybody till midnight. If you're tired, you go. I'm not saying anybody wants to work with me on that time. So there's no system and institutions are built by two people accepting this is the way we must behave. If I don't stay downstairs when it's 4 and wait till 5 or 6, and you defaulting, and you will default because I'm sure you that no, maybe it's answering phone, maybe it's busy, maybe this is this, maybe it's that is that. Start giving an excuse. But if at that time you say no, this man can't keep us here, then that's how the whole thing will change. And that you can do. But they will not do it. They will say, the man is very busy. Maybe he said, oh, by the way, talking to somebody on the phone and laughing and drinking. Say, no, give him time. He will come. No.
So to my first question, sir.
Well, it's two ways. It's yes and no. If I have the time, I want to go, I will just say, every time you ask me the question, I was just telling them now, I said, you won't believe it. I saw a message, I'll show it to you before I leave. People in Australia saying they want to buy my ticket to come to Australia. People in South Africa, people in every, you know, yes and no. If I have the time, because of anything, but because I'm urging them, I'm not running to be president of Nigeria. I want Nigerians to come together and take back their country.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with that country.
Absolutely.
So I want them to be able to take care and take responsibility and do what exactly I'm telling you. So that if they say, we voted Peter Obi in, he's the president, he's not doing what we want, they say, no, that's not what we plan with you. That's not what you said you will do. Not when he goes in, then he becomes his excellency, everybody now becomes, okay, he can get away with anything. No, it's not. Because there was something he said that made us to vote for him. So if he said the vehicle is moving to, we are going from here to somewhere, we know the direction, we agree with him. If he turns another place, we say no. That is the challenge. That's what I told you about the institution. That is the institution. That institution is meant to be checked by the people, not the man, because that man doesn't have monopoly of knowledge. There's a time he will want to be away. If you will say, hey, what do you mean? They just said it. But it's just, we have gotten away with what he did.
Yes.
But for the British public, who said no? I asked them that question, right? No. School children. And that's it. That's what makes a society. In our own place, some people will say, His Excellency, is it not just because he went to a party? He just had a few drinks, which he bought himself. Why are you always solving this thing? No. Or maybe because I am a Igbo man. Or because he's a Northerner. Or he's a Christian. He's a religion. This has nothing to do with anything. It has to do that the right thing must be done. So, next question.
So, with this, can I say something?
Yes.
I'm so glad that you eventually came to Belgium to stay, because minute for this little time.
No problem, sir. I'm
And
listening to you.
yes, I know. And you know, the problems that we have here in Europe, one of them is like the insecurity and then the assurance. I remember when my son went to Nigeria, he opened up good business there in Abuja, and the then governor of the then minister of the capital territory, Mr. One Alaji, he came here and closed all the. My son had a garden, because Eden Garden in Abuja was one of the best things that was happening then. And he came here to close the place and say we were selling beer. I was there, my son was not there then. Then he started saying that beer was sold and they are not supposed to sell beer in Abuja or in the garden. So I told him, I was there, and I told him, look, the former president came to us in Belgium here and told us to come and invest. You know, definitely, you know, people here in Europe, they are ready to bring all their strength to produce something and then help every government that is available. Especially, you know, you are the best selling now in whole Nigeria, and then everybody wants to work for you and wants to do this thing, stay with you or help in whatever your project will be. But how can you help from this insecurity and then this division they are creating within us? Unfortunately, I left Nigeria for a very long time, just because of not being sure of myself. It's not that people went back to Nigeria, they succeeded, but actually we need to have this aspect of assurance of how we can stay, and then not kind of discrimination by religious or by tribal or anything like that, so that we form a nation. We have not formed a nation since 1960. Okay. And that is the greatest problem we have in our country. So how can you make an impact on these issues? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Which part do you think is discriminating which part? I said stop this so we can concentrate. If you want us to discuss, I've done this in several cities. Stop. If you want to do interview, tell me, I do interview and go. If you want us to discuss, we do this and go. It's me who was coming here and said, let's meet with people. But if we want to distract it, so we can concentrate, which part is discriminating which part?
You know, what is important for us is to give us hope. That hope that
No, you said it's a discrimination. So I say, based on religion and based on that, which part is discriminating which part?
I went into Nigeria and I go to Nigeria every year. The insecurity problem.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
You know, you talk about insecurity, I'll use insecurity,
Yes.
but you also talk about discrimination.
Yes. I was with a friend of mine. They called Henry B. He was the COO of NNPC. Then he was in charge of the whole NNPC. And I went to his office. I tell you what I saw. At least 85% of the people working there, they come from one region.
They're not Ghanaians.
Yes.
That's not different.
So this type of thing
Okay.
is not showing Nigeria at all.
Let me help you.
Yes.
Henry is my brother. Let me ask you a question. are the poor people in the north better than the poor people in the south? Are the poor people in the north better than the poor people in the south?
No.
Is there anywhere they buy food or bread cheaper?
In the north.
The poor
In
people.
agriculture.
No, the poor people
Yeah.
in the north.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere they buy food cheaper than the people in the south? The poor people in the north.
I cannot say that. I cannot say.
Is there anywhere in the north you've heard there's uninterrupted electricity?
The issue is that the
No,
north.
I'm asking you a question. Let me tell you. What you see in Nigeria about religion, about ethnicity, everything, is any conspiracy to capture power. Everybody is a loser. Katsina, which is Buhari's state, is far more insecure. Which state are you?
Where you were before.
Far more insecure, far worse, more insecure than Anambra State.
Nehru is not today.
I said, Katsina,
Okay.
I can go to Nehru, but nobody enters Katsina. You can't enter motor today from Lagos Abuja to Kaduna. If you can't go, the airport in Kaduna is closed. You can't land by plane. The only way you can land in Kaduna is you land in the Air Force base. You can't go by train. Motor is still loading to Nehru. If you go to Lagos and buses are still loading to Nehru. You as a foreigner might say you not, but where I see for now, you see where we were loaded to Nehru tomorrow. Nobody is doing it to Kaduna. So it is elite conspiracy. I've been there. Yes, there's a sense of feeling. They don't want me. I'm not going to ask, do I really want myself? Because the reality is, you need to deal with these issues the way they come out. I'm not trying to say there is no discrimination. I'm not trying to say everything is well. But all I'm trying to tell you is that we have a country that things are collapsing. And we must deal with it holistically. That is the way to bring about change. There is insecurity in Nigeria. The job of government is to secure life and property. And I've said it. If I have the opportunity, it will be dealt with decisively. There's no reason why we cannot secure Nigeria, except there's a conspiracy of those who are ruling and those who are creating the confusion. Otherwise, one person will be there. I was governor for 8 years. When I came, was when the name you're saying, nobody entered. That's when they kidnapped innocent people who came to do it in Manhattan. And the definition of the police. But until I left, anybody can say anything. There's crime all over the place. You can reduce it drastically if you want to. Drastically. And I'm happy that the governor who is there now started dealing with it in a manner that can be organized. No publicity, no nothing. I'm not in the news. Well, government, everybody knows I'm not in the news. Because I don't even have money to give people to publish what I'm doing. I even refuse to commission what I did. So that is the job of government. And I assure you, it is the job of government. Why am I talking to diaspora? Because you're the first line of investors with that number. Today your life is in a mess. It is more difficult. You left Nigeria because things are not good. Thank you. Then you're here. You're working. All you're doing is that you're working to become welfare to those who are home.
Yeah.
So everything you get, you take it back to them. But if things are good at home, at least you keep what hard work here. But now if they send you message, send you WhatsApp, send you anything, it's a problem. And you can't abandon them. You are the only job they have to feed. You are the only job they have if they are sick. If they die, you're the funeral director. Because they are not there doing. So you need to fix it. If you fix it, the same money you're sending home becomes investment. Every country of the world have changed. The first line of people who change were the diasporas. Even for
Korea.
I said everybody. I studied about 30 countries. It's even in Bible. It was just a who went to Egypt and said these people for hunger. So, yes. So, you people are going to rally in the UK. Why not? Build factory in India. I was importing goods into UK. His factory was employing over 500 people. Being paid there, he's importing the goods into UK. He's making money. He became richer. Bought a bigger house. Bought everything. Based on factory in UK. None of you here can do it now. If you send money for people to do factory, and they'll chop the money. Because you will not build the country. So I understand what you're saying. There's discrimination. I didn't say there's not. But if we have a leader that appreciates what we're doing, he will know that your son is trying to run an investment. He will provide security. Because without security, no investor will come. Farmers can go. Today we have food inflation. That's a major inflation. That's a major thing that is affecting our inflation. Why? Farmers can't go back to farm. Nigeria is a country blessed with vast land. Almost 1,923,000 square kilometers of land. Almost a million square kilometers of land. If you cultivate it, we will be exporting food. We're not going to be part of people who are being affected by Ukraine. What is the Ukraine war? No. We should be replacing what Ukraine was not providing the world. Not the other way around. If we did well, our gas would be replacing the one Russia is not supplying. But we are the only open country, apart from Venezuela, that is not even producing his quota. Is that bad? Because people are stealing our oil. So, that's that.
Thank you. My name is Marcelo Cariado. I'm from Ireland, Imo State, Nigeria. A warm welcome to Belgium. So, as a matter of fact, we're expecting you around here next month, October. With brother Manzi knows about it because we are in the same group chatting and planning with Professor Pat Utomi and Comrade Iyari. So we're glad to see you, sir. Thank you once again. My question is this, sir. We just mentioned it, we've been living here for a long time and we've been going through a lot of experiences back home. Our economy is in shambles, no thanks to bad governance back home. And then my question to you, sir, is this, we are looking forward to your presidency and you know you're going to revamp a lot of things back home. So, sir, how will you revamp our economy? One, when you eventually come into office. And two, we as diasporans here, we are always longing to be part of the system, electoral process back home. I mean, when there's elections, sir, will you make a big change for the diasporans to vote in an election in Nigeria, sir? Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Number one, this is 2023 election is the last election the aspirants will not vote. There's no reason why. will vote, Angola will vote, Ghana will vote, Nigeria will not vote. So that they are not accepted. Those who are doing it are doing deliberately because they know they cannot buy their vote. We will do that and they will vote. That's the first one. I will tell you, there's nothing in it. A follow-up is what other things you mentioned, which are, I don't know how to put it, like I said before, apart from their voting, which other than they need clarification.
Sir, can you
Let me tell you. I said what there's nothing wrong. I said maintain consistency. We're not going to change the economy. We will change Nigeria from consumption to production. It's a simple thing. Nobody changes the economy overnight. Today, Nigeria is not a producing country. You know, if you compare Nigerian population and size with our productive capacity, it will shock you. What do they do in this country? How does this country make money? I'm asking you who live here.
It's through taxation, sir. Through taxes.
What do people do that they tax them with? I want to know.
They spread production everywhere. So there's more productive work.
Like, I'm listening. They work. What type of work do they do?
In Belgium, there are people who produce lots of things, everything that is possible. They produce it in small quantities, and they have small-scale industries everywhere.
Small-scale industries. So those small-scale industries, what do they produce in it?
If I take it based on the first comment I made in terms of having a system, is that they have an infrastructure that will encourage people to come and invest. They have everything they need in terms of be it human resources, income, be it taxation, and be it any kind of infrastructure that any businessman will want to use. I will give you an example. Most of the pharmaceutical products that you see comes from Belgium, for example. The major, this is where they produce and they distribute to other parts of the world because they have that good system and they have that infrastructure that will make people come into it. And that is not just one. But like what we said earlier on when we talked about the system as well, because I'm so passionate about that. Sorry, I'm taking you back. Is that, like I said previously, I'm a chief compliance officer in the bank. One of the things we do is system and control, whereby that even the person at the gate is compliance to compliance. Because if everybody in the system understand that they have to do what is right, and the system put them in place, you see the institution become compliant even when you have a bad behavior. So that is what comes in again that Belgium have and other parts of the world have. They have that system and that infrastructure that is well structured for you to come in. The moment you come in, the system itself will correct your behavior. I'll give you an example. Some Nigerians come in here. I saw someone who's trying to pee on the road. Someone told him if you pee here, it's 70 euros.
You're asking me what I'm saying. Someone told him. No, let me tell you. If that man was doing it in Nigeria, someone will pass.
Okay, sir, do you know what
someone has to know. It's a system. There's something called societal values. It's societal values that determines does and don'ts. So if I go down now, I'm the governor, I want to pee, somebody says no.
But in Nigeria, even if someone tells
who is this? No, it's not true. It's not true. Let me give you an example. The Prime Minister of Belgium, how many vehicles does he use? No. It's one. You have seen him drive around. If suddenly he's seen in 5 vehicles, what do you think will happen?
If you see him in 5 vehicles, immediately investigation will start coming to know the source of income.
Yes. The people will not even wait for investigation. People will shout him down.
He will go.
Sure.
Before the investigation, nobody will wait for the investigation. He will not resign. There will be vote of no confidence in the parliament tomorrow.
He will leave.
He will leave. That's why Boris Johnson left, because he went to a party.
Yes.
He didn't commit offense. He didn't do anything wrong. He just that people said people didn't. He didn't steal their money. He just that the time said people cannot go to gathering. He went to a party. The least thing anybody can do. That's what he did.
Yeah, he disobeyed the law.
No, there was no law. There's no law. He didn't make any law. There's no law. There's no constitution. There's no way it's written that you cannot go out. But he was the one who said, let us take this rule in order to stop spread of this disease. So, we want to trust you. That's what I said before. You've chosen, let's vote for P2P. Tomorrow you start doing what is wrong. Then this person will say, hey, they are treating him bad because he's an evil man. Oh, because no! First ask yourself a question. Did P2P do what is right or wrong? Before we start saying where he came from. Where he came from becomes irrelevant. So, the system, institution, is people. What the people expect is like he said, turn around the economy. And I said, what do people here do? What do they export? You said small businesses. Some people say this. So they don't have oil. Do they export oil?
They have a refinery with refining oil, so.
Okay.
Please. Please.
No. What?
Good afternoon, my boss.
The productivity.
My boss, yeah.
The productivity of a country and a measure of country's wealth is the productive capacity of its citizens, non-natural resources, especially human capital, youth. So they invested in education. They invested in this. You know the greatest assets of Belgium today? What contributes? Number one thing that contributes to their GDP is what you call intangible assets. And what are those intangible assets? If I go down there like I'm sitting in front of them, I feel a sense of being secure. Security. I'm going to leave now and go to the airport. I'm not looking for police army to escort me. Tell what you said. Law and order. If he decides now to hit me now, I call police. Police will come and arrest him. If I steal, police. If I go to buy a property now and pay somebody, I don't concede the property, I'll call police. They will arrest him. In Nigeria, it's possible I can pay somebody for land. He will eat my money. And I'll call police. Police will arrest me. Who even paid? I say, where did I steal? How did I get the money? Am I sure I'm not a thief? So I become a victim. law. Then you have capital people who are educated, who are going to do the right thing. You work in the bank, you work in the system. So the banks are owned by people, shareholders, am I right? They don't know you. They don't even know you're from Nigeria when they employ you. Is there anywhere they said you where you came from there?
Well, they wouldn't be asking such questions to a chief compliance officer.
No, I asked you now. I asked you. Did they ask you where you came from when they employed you?
Well,
No. It's a general interview. Your employment wasn't based on where you came from.
Yes.
It was based on qualification. Thank you. And if they found that you're no longer doing that job, what will happen?
Exactly.
So they've created a level playing field where people's talent and hard work will match up the opportunities. That's what is done in Nigeria. Because I would have taken you because you're from the southeast. Then if there's a problem, it's because they're only second southeast people, because they're from southeast. Is that happening? Yes. That's why he's complained. He went to office and saw 85 people. Even when we have a written constitution which spells national character. But nobody is obeying it. So, obeying something and doing the right thing is a human being. We're not a productive economy. And you must make the country productive. We have a vast land today in the north that is our greatest assets. One young girl told me today in EU that he came from which state you live in? Taraba. You said when I told her about Taraba. I went to see the governor of Taraba. They are complaining that the money they are getting from Abuja is less. Taraba is a state with 54,000.5 square kilometers of land. That's the size of Taraba. Taraba is situated on Mambila. Taraba. That's the size of Taraba. Taraba land is fertile. You can cultivate there tea, coffee, flour. Kenya exported flour of over $500 million. Ethiopia exported over 1 billion coffee. It's about 1.1 billion. Sri Lanka exported tea, 1.4 billion. These three items, the total export from these three third world countries are over $3 billion. So Taraba could have done 10% of that for $300 million, which is at 650, about 200 billion naira. Total money they get from share of their oil money is up to 50, and they are complaining. But you're sitting on money. The size of Israel's size. Israel is 22.2, about. Belgium is 30.9. So Belgium and Israel is about 52,000 square kilometers. Taraba is bigger. But they can't feed themselves. They are complaining. That is what I'm talking about, production. You're not doing the right thing. So that's what they need to do. If I tell you the export of this place, with this small land, you will be shocked. Niger State, 76.3 thousand square kilometers of land. Is 2.5 times Netherlands without water. Netherlands export last year of food was 120 billion. 120 billion. Now they can't feed themselves. They can't feed Nigeria, they can't feed anybody. They are waiting for 50 billion on this. If they did only 1%, Netherlands export is 1.2 billion. Multiplied by 650 is 750 billion naira. 5 times their budget, 1%. So Nigeria cannot feed itself. People are begging for food, and you are sending money for them to eat. You're even helping to create the problem. How can people be eating without work? Do you get money free here? Have anybody given you free money here? You must work. That's what we want to do. Change the country from consumption to production. And then stop celebrating criminality, which is what I said. That is the people that changes it. If I become president and come here now, it's all of you here. Some of you here will be telling me where to buy a beautiful house. That's what our people do. Somebody steals public money, comes to this, they are calling me this and say, this man bought a house here, this man bought here, that man bought here. I don't have a house in Belgium. I don't live in Belgium. I don't intend to come and live in Belgium. It's as simple as ABC. So don't encourage me. What you should do if anybody comes to tell you, you have to call police. Because you don't make money careful. It's your money. But Nigerians will go there, they say it's coming to do housewarming, they are there enjoying it. That's what we're trying to stop. That's why I say let's have a family discussion. It's not about me. Are you a Nigerian?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. He's a journalist. If you ask him now what is it, he say listen to Peter. And he will listen to me. He will listen to other presidential candidates. But let me tell you what he will not do. He will not sit there and say, who will I trust among these people? Who do I trust? Rather, what he will do is that Tinubu is a Yoruba man. What has it to do with how much they sell bread in the bank? What has it to do with people who are suffering? Today, you people know who is the Prime Minister here. Go when he's contesting, people are discussing in a bar. I lived in the UK for years. They don't care. When I was in school, I met people in school when Obama was contesting. Sorry, not Obama. When Clinton was contesting, I met people in Columbia, in Harvard, in Oxford, in Cambridge. When they're discussing politics, they don't care where the man, when you say election is coming, they're talking about what does the man say? You will fight inflation, you will fight this, you will fight that. But I can tell you, as he's talking like this, listening to me like this, if the politician comes tomorrow and give him money, he's talking total nonsense.
That's true.
And it's confirmed. That is the problem. And he will come. How much is Peter going to give him? What am I going to give you? If I give you my private money, I'm going to collect it back.
Let's clap for him for Because what he's saying here is
if I didn't give you my money, when I go there, I was going on Anambra State for 8 years, and I'm telling everybody, go and show me where their money is missing. But don't come and think I'm going to give you my hard-earned money. It's not true. That's what I'm using to run around. He bought tickets when we were coming here. I said, how are we going to go here? We looked at British Airways, it was expensive. We looked at this, we looked at Airbus. He said, no, Like the economy. I even told him when we were coming. He said the business class. I said, no. Let's look. We bought the car. When we entered the plane, I told him, I said, let me tell you what they do. You can see that the seat of the economy and business, what they do is that they leave one seat in between empty. Is that what I'm telling you? Because they have checked these two people, the seat of this person, seat of three people, they're charging for two people. So they leave certain time free. So the same seat is nothing, and they won't give you coffee. When we go there, we'll buy coffee and drink. That they're not going to kill us for it. So let us be sincere and listen. And we have come here last night and slept in hotel, but I have to sleep in my house. And I said, why are we going to pay for hotel? When we came here, you said there's a place you book for me to stay. I said, no, it's wrong. Let's stay here. It's not lobby. When the night come, we'll go. Why are we going to pay for hotel? It's as simple as ABC. And if you build the way where they said they've closed breakfast, it's not what they told us. I said, okay, you've closed, okay, we see bread that is many years. Give it to us to eat, so we can go. I will keep it and we are getting out the bread that is remaining. We didn't have to pay. We just do the bread and eat and go. It's a stomach. It's a simple thing. If you do it and it becomes part of it, what I'm saying, if you do it, people think it's like, no, I do it. When I was governor, I was doing the same thing. Tomorrow, if I'm president, I will do the same thing. Not because there's anything. When people say, oh, well, Peter, you're now president, what are you talking? Absolute nonsense. It has nothing to do with the job. Simple. He has offered us a place now to meet and talk. We don't need to go to 5,000. What we're talking in that hotel is what we're talking here. It will not make any difference. Will it? No. So let us talk as people who came from third world country and use our time more efficiently. So I'm not against anything, but we have to get things right. It is us that will say enough.
It's enough.
We cannot continue this way for the sake of our children. Just like people will say, Boris Johnson must go. Let our people do the same thing. When Peter goes in with all this fire talk now, when he say, no, it won't happen.
A lot of people from Niger, Chad, they get this Nigerian passport, so easily that they could come into Nigeria and vote. Even the children can vote. So I don't know, maybe if there's anything you can do about this.
Do you think it's so easy to them?
Like I've been following what you're saying about state police. And
it's easy for them because Nigeria is not easy for them. I think that is good for us. We will police the borders because that's the source of our insecurity. And I know you're going to state police. There's no reason why we will not have state police. Who said that you?
I'm from Asaba.
Delta people will police Delta better than people from Anambra State.
My mom's father is from Anambra.
No, I'm just saying Delta people will police Delta better.
Yeah.
If you go to your community, I've done community police as governor. I was paying every community. They raised security people in their place. I bought them vehicles because they know those who are criminal within them. Mm-hmm. And it can be dealt. The only reason why people don't want to have that is because they live off the confusion. Simple as it is.
Good day, sir. It's a privilege to have you here today, sir. I've been following you and I've been campaigning for you all around Europe here, more especially in Belgium. And I'm so glad to see you today. And I have two questions directly for you, sir.
Go
on. In Nigeria today, the gap between the poor masses and the high elite is much.
Yes. The inequality is bad.
So, sir, I want to ask you this question. How do you intend to bring this gap close? And secondly, in Nigeria, there are a lot of micro businesses. Will you create any policy that will aid those micro businesses in Nigeria? Thank you, sir.
Let me tell you, he asked how we're going to deal with it. The greatest employer and job creator of any nation is micro businesses. The survival of micro businesses is the healthy of the economy because they create jobs. Even in Belgium here, he said it is small businesses. In a developing country, it's even more critical. China, we use for example today, the biggest contributor to China GDP is micro, small businesses. The biggest contributor to China productivity is micro, small business. The biggest employer of labor is micro, small businesses. In China, 800 million people are employed. Micro, small businesses employ 60%. 60% for the family of that. So you can go and check what it is. The employer about 1/4 of Antwerp is working.
Yes.
Right?
Because the people, they are active in everything they want to do. They are very open and sincere for what they are doing.
So back to what I said before. Back to what I said earlier. The people. Do you know anything why it's working? Because the government earns revenue from there. And if you're not doing it, they'll sack you. But I can tell you, I've worked with people in Nigeria. You are going through this pain now. You are going through this fault now. Tomorrow you are made a director in Nigerian Courts Authority. Do you know what you will do? You start benefiting from that confusion. Because that thing you see in Lagos was a confusion created for people to make money. And instead of you to say, you start benefiting from it. Then start trying to buy new house in Belgium. And then him who is supposed to criticize you as a journalist, you give him something, he start the interview and saying, and next thing, he who is a pastor is praying for you. Then the people here are coming for housewarming in your house. That is the crisis of the country. It's the only place where a thief is stealing. Those who are supposed to call police are celebrating with him. And they say it's normal. So, we can, today, are you aware Nigeria have no revenue? Because the port that is feeding Singapore, that they are celebrating, it's not generating the money required. What you say is ways in which we can generate money, which we are not doing. Imagine that port is moving like Port of Antwerp and is helping businesses, and businesses are doing well. What do you think? Everything will be fine. Everybody will be more people will be employed, but they cannot do it. And my brother, we have a crisis. The crisis is all of us. That's why I'm pleading for all of us. Let's go and take back our country. And what is like any other country? Where the leader is responsible to the people are gadfly to the leader. They can question his rascality. His behavior must be behavior of somebody who is sane and who wants to serve. Not behavior of where he comes in and the bad behavior has become a measure of success in our system. That's what he said, that a man can be anywhere and he will call police, and because he has police, because it's bad behavior. Because the society has said the bad behavior. Not because that man does it, but because society. I was governor. You're going to a church late. People will invite me to occasion. Arrive 4 p.m. prompt. I called them last night when I said, I want to see a few other people. They told me where, you gave me this address. And I replied, I said, what time? They said in the evening. I said, no, it's not in the evening. They must be time. In the evening, 3 is evening, 7 is evening. They must be time. I used to go on wherever they give me, everywhere I want. I left, I was in Germany on the 26th. Well, actually, I came there before people arrived. I was in Rome on the 27th. I left Rome on the 28th morning to Toronto. They don't know. We thought when you come in, you will rest. I said, we fix time. So from the airport to the place, because we have the time. I left there 29th, I was in California. In the morning, I left. 30th, I was in Houston. 31st, I was in Charlotte. 1st, I was in Washington. 2nd, I was in Atlanta. And God asked me everywhere. He said, okay, wait. I said, no. We fix time. Let us just start behaving the way other people behave. So we know whether there's something they do. But even by the time we do what they're doing and it's not working, then we go and find another thing. It's not for us to go to church every Sunday and say, in Jesus' name, let's do simple things they do. That simple thing is that people be elected. This is public money. Use it for public good. When it doesn't work, we'll go to church. If it doesn't work in church, we'll go to native doctor and know where this problem is coming from. But those first, let us do what other people do. And those things are not sophisticated.
Very simple.
We say this thing is 4 p.m. We'll come by 4. When the time comes, go. Don't go and start complaining. No. This is a no. This is a simple thing. If you give somebody money in our place, he'll come back telling you he lost his mother, he lost his father jumped into well. No, I gave you loan. I didn't give you your dead father. If your father died, sorry, we'll pay back first, then we'll talk about the death of your father. Don't go and bring what is not the issue. Inside it. Within this, these are the 2 little things. As governor, I told them, I'm not going to borrow money. Every money you borrow here must be for investment. We'll cut down this. Did any of you read Ngozi Iweala's tweet yesterday? Yes. Go and read his book. Fighting corruption is dangerous. You see the result. Every governor, when he was saying to save money, said no. Then, but Peter who insisted, was not supported by his colleagues. I went and saved the one of Anambra State.
Page 61.
Page 61. Since I left Anambra State, Anambra has never bought me a glass of water. I finished and gone home. So all I'm saying is let's start doing things like other people are doing it. Then if there's a problem, it's okay.
Thank you very much. But I know we're going to get a real interview, TV interview, but I just want to put this out so that those that may not sit for the interview can also learn from it. You've said so much about people, like we have to change, we have to do this and behave like other people. But I weep inside because when you talk about people, we're dealing with a very huge cancer. Sorry to say, 70% of the people in this room are guilty of all these things that you're talking about. People. We clap for you, we laugh for you, we like your integrity, and we are following you. But like you said, if you put one of these guys as director of the seaport, he is going to be thinking of the benefits, the confusion that's already laid down for him. So my question to you, Your Excellency, do you have a blueprint on how to change the mind? Because you will be the president. I know that and I believe that. But you are one man and you have millions of Nigerians that are wearing their shoes on the wrong feet. So do you have a program, a plan to change the mind of the people? Because when we came to this country, sorry, it may take a little longer. When we came to this country, we went to what they call inbuggering. They recultured our mind. You have to spend at least a month. They call it integration.
Everybody, yeah.
Yes.
Let me finish.
If you like the word, we go to this class. They teach you even when to put your dustbin. The day that you put your dustbin outside. They even teach you when you're cooking, cover your pot to reduce electricity usage. So the point here is, my country is so cancerous. From the DPO to the AIG, you are one man, we're going to vote for you. But how do you change our mind to start acting right?
Okay, let me tell you how we're going to change it. Let me answer you. Everybody has said to me, how do you feel? And that's what I'm going to use to change that. I said, if you did it, I did not steal it. You. So we say, everybody here is a thief. That's assumption.
Yes.
He is the governor. All of us are stealing. But he is the governor. And he's not stealing. You and his friends are not stealing. He who is his family is not stealing. You know what has happened? You've reduced it by 70%. It's a simple thing. And I'm telling you from experience. This governor will approve what you will steal. So if he's not stealing, you cannot steal. Forget about being in government. I was chairman of Fidelity Bank before I became governor. Go to Fidelity Bank, I'm the only chairman of Fidelity Bank who did not buy vehicles. That is, buy chairman's vehicle. I was even in a place called Festac. I was the only chairman of a bank that was living in Festac. Every other person lived in Ikoyi or Victoria Land. The bank even told me that my lifestyle is affecting their corporate image. The bank survived and they are doing well. I was chairman of SEC. People think it's only about government. Security and Exchange Commission, go there. I was the only chairman they didn't buy a car for. The day I came there, they showed me a vehicle, gave me over 400 million, which is supposed to be my housing for 5 years, blah, blah, blah. I'm not there. I'm telling you, the radio man put it on tape. You are verified. I was governor for 8 years. Nobody asked me to keep money in Anambra State. Nobody even asked me the currency I would keep. But when I was leaving, I invited the whole of Anambra people, and I announced it that I have in Access Bank $50 million equivalent of the same amount. They didn't ask $50 million equivalent of the same money in Naira. I have in Diamond Bank $50 million equivalent of it in Naira. I have in Fidelity Bank $55 million equivalent of it in Naira. And I'm not owing pension, I'm not owing gratuity, I'm not owing any supplier who have executed goods, I'm not owing anybody, I'm going. What am I saying? You ready seat. If you, this is my 9th year of being living office. Nobody. ESCC invited me last year because my name was mentioned in Pandora papers. I went there. They said, oh, people say, hey, finally they've invited me. They went outside there and said, when I became governor in 2006, I had a business in the UK that was doing well and everything. So I folded everything, put it in a trust. That's what is there. If you go there and see 1 naira, throughout the time I was in office till today, into that trust, take it. If not, you should leave me, let me go. You know? So I'm not asking you to go and look for any other thing. They say, then they told him, it must have about, it must be, this amount will be there. I said, what the amount you will call now, if you go there and see 2% or 3% of that amount you mentioned, no, it's not my money. Let me go. And what am I trying to say? Today, you see me, today, whether you like it or not, I'm challenging the rascality of government and those who are the major opposition. You know today that if PDP and APC have something against me, they would have they would have taken me to everywhere. So what am I trying to say? I've passed through the same system. You can say this is wrong. You don't necessarily need people to start saying you can, but are people say, okay, how are we going to change it? Change yourself first. Let's start from you. Who is the leader? Go and ask policeman, is there anybody police arrested while I was governor for doing for not doing anything? Is there any way police slam somebody? Go to people and say, even now they tell you in Anambra State, go ask them whether there's any place that came to church late or gathering late and went in front of the church. Let commerce have a place at the back because you came late. It has nothing to do with who you are because you came late. And you must respect your lateness. Don't come late. We said that we're going to start something by 4. Some people came by 5 because they went to work, which is allowed. At times I go late because I have other things. But don't come late and then come and say, this man, get up, we'll sit here because he's the chairman of Nigeria in Belgium. He would have known that the chairman should come early. That's what I'm saying. We must have a society that is organized and behavioral pattern can. If the leader starts it, I can tell you, in other thing you're saying, you'll be shocked. We moved the education from number 1, from number 26, 27 to number 1. We didn't change the teachers. We didn't inform it. It was the teachers that were teaching when we were 26. I was still teaching when we were number 1. Same teachers, we didn't change anybody. What changed? I, the governor, visited every single secondary school. So I know that, they know that I know what is happening. Senior prefect of every secondary school have my number. So they can reach me. Because education was my priority. But they said, it's human capital. It's important to me. If I have my phone now, if I get my phone now, you see it. Every secondary school, the senior prefect has my phone number. So it's easier for me. So the senior prefect gets them. I don't want the teacher. So the senior prefect gets up in the morning and says to me, sir, our English teacher is not working. And I sent him to Commissioner for Education and said, I'm going to social and social school today. I want to go and know what is happening there. So nobody tells me anything. So when I returned school to the original owners, the teachers went on strike. They didn't go to school for months. You are not from, you said this from, you're from
I'm from Mago.
Delta State. So my rich neighbor, go and ask for no elite in Anambra State is happy with me. He has been places where I say it. If you go to Anambra State, you will never see anybody who says happy with Peter. If I become president tomorrow, no Nigerian will be happy with me. Individually. Because it's not my job to make people happy. My job is to fix school, fix what is there. These are my senior prefects, SP, KRC, SP, I bought girls, SP this, you see them, SP. And 500 schools. And they call me, they send me text, and I read it. So I get up on Saturday, somebody said, oh, this man is doing wine carrying. Now I'll go there, what am I doing for this wine carrying? If he wants to marry woman, did he come to my home? That's not what I'm doing. I'm there to fix school. If he wants to do wine carrying, it suits him, it doesn't conflict with my interest.
I've worked with you as my director, and I know what you can do. And I don't have I have the conviction that by His grace, when you get there, you will make us proud. My question comes to education. You have, it has been coming in and out from how questions comes around from your answer. Sir, in every country that makes or that does well today depends on education. To make it short, if we come back home, for the past 8-9 months now, all the universities are on strike. Some students that are supposed to have graduated in 6 or 5 years now are spending 9-10 years in university. None of them is working. So my question is this. What will you do to alleviate this problem, solve the problems in education in that country, so that when you're fixing the country, everything will be okay? Sir, that's my question.
I listen to you. Things went Belgium for 4 months. What would the people do?
Protest.
Huh?
Protest.
Massive protest.
So think it was. But if they protest in Nigeria, they kill them.
Who killed them?
The toll gates.
Huh?
The one that happened in Lagos was taking toll gates. NSAS.
You know, you polite to give excuse. I, Mr. Obi, says who will kill them.
Yeah.
Christian, I've been told several times, Peter, these people are going to kill you. Don't do what you're doing. I've even been called and said I'm causing confusion. What are you people talking? It is the people. Institutions are built by the people. So they will kill all the parents, all the children, kill all the students, kill everybody. Even those students, if they give them money, they will start singing for them. So you must get this right. We must be determined. That's my preaching. If they come here and give you people money, I can tell you 70% of you will start saying, this school self, what are people doing in school? They should close it for me.
Go and let trade.
Once, because people know they can get away with anything, they do it. I can't go down here now and do what is wrong, slap him and listen. Because I know that if police come, he must arrest me. He must arrest me. In Nigeria, police comes and he says, Peter, he says, okay. Okay, what did the man? This man, what did he do? The police will slap him well. They will slap him well. For even allowing Peter to slap him, they will slap him well. That's your country. All I know is that, the man kept pushing me. This man, you don't know who that. They will beat him up well. Nobody asks, why should you? I've seen that. Christian, I go to a little as airport and queue up. People will say to you, no, you're not supposed to be queuing up with us. Go in front. What about madness is that? I came like you. We all bought tickets. We all going to the same direction. I queuing up. He said, go in front. How can he be queuing up here? Somebody else, they said, leave him. He said, cannot we have respect in this country? What is wrong with queuing up? Oh, Peter, you can't go to Belgium alone. Why do you go to Brussels alone? Is it not only me they invited? You just said I should come with my village. No. You were in Geneva yesterday on your own. How many people did they ask you to come with? They said we want to see you. Why carry my village to go there? Pay money for my villages who are not invited. They are not going to do anything. They would have been in the hotel and eating, and I'm the one who is paying for them. These are the things I'm saying that is wrong. And your people don't want to. I can show it to you, Christian. You can read it out now, this morning. Somebody said, can't I see how other candidates are moving? That there are matters. And this that there's a presidential movement when they move. What do I do? So I need to hire Christian, hire everybody here. They follow me so they know the president is moving. It has to stop. I said, let's do it the other way. The other people do it and know whether it will work or not. If after we've done it, it didn't work, without nothing, we will educate our people. We will invest in education. I will not be there, and this will happen. That's all I can say. No. We must see the solution to this. It was my decision with them that made it to the Anambra State University is among the schools. Hello, Tai, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do me a favor. I'm in a meeting. You know that comment by Africa will be open. Can you find it and send it to me now in the next 10-20 minutes, please? I'm in a difficult position where I need to use it to explain something to some people. Please, find it, send it to me. You sit. I didn't know people were calling me. We sat and said, what can we do for this university to be open? We cannot close school. And we'll solve it. People have been where I said I built the fastest teaching hospital in Nigeria till date. The fastest teaching hospital. In fact, it's a very big coincidence. The man who made me to build that hospital called me while I was here. Because I was in my office, I answered it in Houston. Well, I answered it in Houston. The woman who came to tell me they are going to close their medical school was in the conference. I said, this woman came to my office and told me that the Nigerian Medical Council decided to close down the university. Our College of Medicine, because we have no teaching hospital. And I begged the medical council to allow me 2 years to build a teaching hospital. They said it's impossible. But one of them agreed, let's give him a chance. And they gave me a chance. And I invited all the professors of medicine of Anambra State, and they came to a meeting. And I locked the door and said to them, look at my dilemma. I want to build a teaching hospital within 2 years. All of you are the people who will design it. You are the consultant, you are the everything, but I'm not going to give you one now. You must do this as your contribution. Some Nigerians will say, no. It's your energy and talent that we need to change Nigeria. Don't think it's me. So, the rest assured, that's where we're going to.
Was it in your coffee?
Huh?
Was it in your coffee?
No. The one in the other one is federal government. The one that I do it is in Oka. Is Oka?
Your Excellency, please, when are you coming back?
Sir, same to you now. Thank you, bye.
That the Western influence are telling on Africa and Nigeria in particular.
What's that what?
The Western influence.
How?
Are taking advantage of the continent of Africa, exploiting our resources without our knowledge, or even with our knowledge, just for their own selfish interests. The political elites. So my question is, now the Westerners are seeing your campaign promises, and that might not. Sorry?
Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so my question is, let me be direct. My question is, how will you tackle this Western influence over Africa and Nigeria, to be precise, in exploiting our resources for their own certain interests, or for some certain interests pertaining to some political elites?
Question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me help you.
And the second question is, what strategies have you made in protecting your followers back home? Because of recent, we saw in Enugu State where we don't know if they are from either political talks or if they are your supporters as well. I made the IPOB who are saying on the video I watched that Enugu is not part of the support of your movement in making Nigeria a greater nation. So I don't know what strategy have you put in place to actually protect your supporters so that they can be courageous enough to ensure that we fight for your fight till the last minute, not to be discouraged by any threat of any talks or any.
What was this whole election in?
Yeah, remember with what is ongoing already because of this IPOB, election, and the rest. So but I don't really know if they are political talk, like I said earlier, or if they are of that group claiming that Enugu or the East generally is not to partake in the election because of their interests.
So it's not just me. So it's not just me, everybody. Because if I'm not going to partake, if the labor is not going to partake, every other person will partake.
Yeah, but we saw in the video that your the campaign was obstructed that very day while they were shooting some live bullet in the air, I think that can scare people who are not well protected from actually supporting you.
Did you see the march in Onitsha?
Yeah, I saw
in Oka, in Owerri,
yeah,
in everything. Huh?
Yeah.
Let me be honest with you. I'm yet to understand or study what you're saying, but not what you're saying, but understand or study. Let me tell you the peculiarities. There was a march in Onitsha. There was a march in Owerri. There was a march in every other place, and they shut the place down.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that shows that maybe somebody is taking advantage of something and trying to label it something. That's what I'm thinking. Because if you say there won't be any form of election in Brussels here, and 1 million people came, nobody did anything, then you go to city of Ghent, and 2 people came out, or 3 people, you start saying no election in Belgium, then there's something. Do you understand?
Yes.
I want you to think about it. That's what I'm saying.
That is where my question lies.
I'm not the one. The same thing they are doing to them is what they are doing to me. Everybody said to me, you're not safe. They will kill you. They will do this. But I'm moving. I don't know where I'm going to die. Because there's no, I came with the plane. I entered the plane yesterday from Geneva to London. Everybody thought they would crash the way it was banging on. So really, it is not something, I wouldn't want anybody to take risk because of me. Maybe we're not here when I said it's not about me, it's about the country. Do we want to save the country? If you think you're voting for me, you lost it. Forget it. What we're trying to do now is to take back the country, not to elect him to go and start answering his excellency again. We've passed that stage. Nigeria is not in the same way we are trying to make me to be president. So we'll go and start answering president. No. We're in a stage where we want to collectively go and save the country. If anybody wants to be president, not me, particularly. Even if I wanted to be not at where Nigeria is today, it's a bad shape. But collectively, we can start changing it. So, if there's a war, all of us will face the war. If there's a war, all of us will face the war. If there's anything, we will not see it. And that's what is important. Including those who are doing agitation. It's the question of everybody sitting down asking himself, where do we want to go? Why did we get there? Why was this of agitation? You dialogue, you talk. Simple. It's not a problem. You deal with that matter. That's how it works. All over the world. Brazil have had worse agitation than we have. Mexico, Colombia, everywhere. You dialogue with people. You sit down with people and talk. If somebody said that it's like this, okay, let's talk. Let's know whether we're the place we can meet. That's how the system works. So it's not a question of, okay, we want to go. Everywhere there's agitation, even in people's houses, there's agitation. But every agitation is negotiated. If you live in your house today and you're married, you see your wife and your children agitate. If you're a father who has one, you negotiate with them. So don't think that it is just a ceremony where anybody can get up and say, hey, no. Sit down. So somebody behind you decided to ask questions.
An insight. So the
first question. So
I'm very brief. The question is based on our police. Usually they say the military or the armed forces is the pride of the country, but I want to focus on the police. Now, issue of reforming the police. What's your plan towards that? Because if you look at it, welfare-wise, our police is a mess. Right from when I was a child, the police barracks and everything. And I've practically done police reform when I was practicing in Nigeria, trying to lecture on that. And to be honest, what I saw personally, it's a deep decay right from employment. So how do you intend to solve that? Because when you look at the police in Belgium, the gadgets, it's a pride for them. So I also want us to see that from the Nigerian police. So I would love to know how you intend to do that. And then the second insight I wanted to say was about tourism. I noticed nobody mentions tourism, when it comes to Nigeria, but we are blessed. We live in Belgium. They have the Flanders, the Wallonia. If you go to Wallonia, it's entirely a different world. And the Flanders, but they all do something. So it's a joy for people, students from Wallonia, to go to the Flanders when they are in school and see their own culture.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to ask, because I do understand, like, say for example, come next year, you're sworn in as the president of Nigeria, hopefully. You want to make reforms and you want to make changes, and this will need to go through the House. You will need to get approval, like you speak about reducing cost of governance, which is something that I very much think is the right approach. Yet, these people whose salary you will be reducing are the same people who need to approve this reduction. So,
I'm not going to reduce their salary.
Well, the cost of governance, I think to a large extent, senators are earning a lot of money.
Their salary is not a problem.
Well, maybe not only salary allowances, the way they spend money through procurement. It's also not okay if people earn like 40 million a month in a country where people live on like less than $1 per day. So it's maybe a bit of a joke if our senators earn that higher than the senators in the US. So if you're not going to reduce their salary, do you not think that it's a
I don't think it's their salary. They haven't studied what they are doing. Their salary is very good. The salary is very low. There's other things they do that make them end up money. That will reduce. Don't ask me how I've done it before. It's not very it's a difficult thing. You ask about education and school that will change. Listen, I want you to listen to this. Because that's what you take by station. He came here by 6 o'clock because of the operation. I want you to listen to this.
My name is Njenje. I happen to be president of the Alumni Association of Belgium State University, now to the University, around 2009-2011, when P2B was the governor of Anambra State. You may recall that sometime in July 2010, he asked all the Southeast universities owned by the state government went on strike. The reason for the strike, we have two main reasons. One is that the state government should uplift the infrastructures in the universities. And the second one is that the content of the 2009 ASU agreement with the federal government with respect to salary structure be implemented in the state universities. So I think the strike lasted for about 4, 5 or 6 months, I can't recall very well. But what happened was that I was part of a meeting with P2B, the governing council chairman, the acting vice chancellor, the student union president, the ASU chairman of the university then, whereby Peter took decision to immediately inject 90 million every month into the subvention of the university, and thereafter ASU of Anambra State University called off strike and went back to campus. That is the reason that today, while the whole universities in Nigeria are on strike, the Anambra State University, now Chukwuemeka University, is in session. So if you're a student there, it means you are of the age to vote. Go and get your PVC.
Leave his campaign.
Tell your parents.
If you want to send this, that's what a leader must take this decision. I'll be in Nigeria, not answering all these questions, hoping to buy the vote. And when I buy it, you see me here, you complain and tell me about Belgium police. What am I to do with Belgium police? If Nigerian police doesn't work, it's not my business. But we must do things differently. I say, let us start doing what I'm doing. What I'm doing now is what the Belgian Prime Minister will do. He goes to people to campaign, convince them and they vote for him. But what is in Nigeria? I'm trying to convince this man. You go and collect money from somebody who you didn't see yesterday and vote for him. I say, this is land. Nobody buy to be that kind of man. Say to go there, man. Oh yeah, you want to become now. If it's an Igbo man, say that I say, now what's that? Oh yeah, be careful. If I you are not an animal. An animal has made a decision. You are using it to refer to yourself. You know, what is this man talking? He came to Belgium and didn't give anybody anything. I've seen all these things in my life as governor. People say to you, this man came to America. Look at the other day, the man, another man came, he invited all of us, and everybody was enjoying. A man who stole money invited me, and we were enjoying. So this is it. Somebody was talking.
No, actually, because you were doing something important. So I just wanted to understand how you bypass, because Nigeria is practicing democracy in the sense that it's not just like executive orders from presidents.
Don't worry yourself. I was governor for 8 years.
Okay.
I had no house money in my house, for my party, nobody. And I did all like this. Once you're doing the right, nobody will stop you. Put everything on the table. Let it be transparent.
Okay.
Nobody will stop you. It's when you're trying to take, you know what I'm saying about it? When you want to answer corruption.
No.
Okay.
That was why they impeached. That was why they impeached you that time.
Thank you. And I came back. That's what I said about corruption. If you're not stealing, nobody can steal. Because you have approved what they will steal. So you put your own, everybody put his own. Go and ask anybody who is from Anambra State. I'm the first governor who left money in Nigeria. And I wasn't worrying anybody. And the money I can take and go home and sleep. And come to Belgium here and buy house. And all of you will come to my house to celebrate.
I'm aware, sir, and from others in Nuku in Anambra, so I saw the road.
So for me, erosion would have carried your place.
Yes, exactly. That's true. That's true. Yes, that's his correct.
But it's not there. Because I had to put 500 million. There's roads everywhere to your place.
Yes, indeed.
So I would have taken the money. But I didn't take it. Because it doesn't belong to me. But if I can use it now to go and build a big house, you come and be celebrating with me. And you're happy with me. And that's what we're saying. Let us start working the way other people are doing it. And see whether it will work. I would have come to Belgium now. Oh, maybe come in private jet, have Rolls Royce, park downstairs here, do this and everything. Later, when they came to the airport this morning, they said, is anybody come to me? I said, is it not nice here? I want to look behind me. Is it not what people are entering here now? Thanks. If I get to London this time now, there's a fast train to Paddington. I already have to enter it. It dropped me like every other person. Must my own be different? No. But people say, oh no, that's not how it works. We would have been doing this in Hilton Hotel. For what? So, if you do the right thing, there won't be any problem. Come into our center.